Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 are explosive entries to the series. Released in November 2007 for the Wii, Mario Galaxy 1 would change the series forever, offering grand orchestral soundtracks to mellow tunes across a universe of hundreds of unique ideas. So many, in fact, that even one playthrough of this game wouldn't be enough to see absolutely everything. Whilst the games obviously focus on the norm of Peach is in danger and Mario must save her, except this time there's massive spaceships and lasers, Mario Galaxy has another story. Another story that is completely optional. Another story you may never heard of, or at least finish. This is the depressing story behind Mario Galaxy. Rosalina is an important character for the Mario Galaxy series, serving as the protector of the cosmos as a whole and being the adoptive mother for the Luma, the star-like species that are all around space. Whilst I'm sure you've heard some theories about her past, I'm almost certain that you have never, or at least never made the time to hear Rosalina's story. The observatories act as a hub to travel across space, but one in particular is very interesting: the library. Going to the library will allow you to hear the story of a young girl, and that story is... Our story begins with young Rosalina out one day when she notices a rusted spaceship with a star child, as the book calls them. Intrigued, she goes up to the ship and the star child and asks, "What's your name? Are you lost?" In return, the Luma simply says through tears that had flowed the whole day and night, "I'm Luma, and I'm waiting for Mama. She's coming for me on a comet." And with that, Rosalina promises to wait with the Luma, sparking their grand friendship. So, at night with her father's telescope, they aimlessly search for Luma's mother. Hours turn to days, days turn to weeks, and weeks turn to years. Alas, the girl said defeatedly, "If we stay here looking much longer, I'll be an old lady soon." And with that, they fixed the ship and set out for the cosmos. Yet, days of travelling amounted to nothing. There was no comet, or even a single planet in sight, just asteroids as far as the eye could see. Soon the girl became hungry, complaining she didn't bring enough food. She had packed all the necessities: a telescope, butterfly net, stuffed bunny, bread, milk, jam, and apricot-flavoured tea, but it wasn't enough. "I thought to bring water," the girl exclaimed, to which the Luma only laughed, causing her to pout. But eventually, with an offering of star bits, she couldn't help but laugh along. And so, they collected as much as they could on the net. The star bits tasted like honey. With time, the celestial duo came across a luminous blue comet. Mistaking it for the morning sun, the girl woke up excitedly to see the bright turquoise star shimmering on her. Excitedly, she shook the Luma awake, exclaiming, "We have to get that comet." And so they did. Stepping on, they searched the warm but icy comet high and low, but the celestial mother was nowhere to be found. Defeated once again, the girl slumped, but in a moment of hope, "Look!" Looking down at the ground where Luma was pointing, the girl saw clusters of star bits in the ice. After all, finding star bits was Luma's specialty. Attracted to the icy comet by the warmth and potential of water, the two stayed on the comet for a while and continued their search. But one night, the girl dreamed of her own mother, who has a striking resemblance to the adult Rosalina, or is that just me? "Where are you going?" she asked her mother. Without turning, her mother replied, "Don't fret, dearest. I'm not going anywhere. I'm always watching over you, like the sun in the day and the moon in the night." It seems our little Rosalina is feeling homesick, wanting to see her mother again back on her own planet. Sadness washed over the girl. "What about when it rains and I can't see the sun or moon?" With a moment of thought, the mother replied, "I will turn into a star in the clouds and wait for your tears to dry." As she woke, her face was damp with tears. "You have star bits in your eyes," Luma exclaimed, unaware of the girl's crying. "These are tears, not star bits. I'm crying because I'll never see my mother again." With this, the Luma joined in. See this next line? I think you get the point. I don't know if I want to read that. At this point, countless days had passed and Luma became hopeless. Now, Luma, the rain clouds won't go away if you keep crying, she said, repeating her mother's advice, giving Luma a squeeze. I'll give you a present if you stop. Closing her eyes, she said gently, I'll take care of you. With these words, she felt a small spark in her heart. Soon the girl worked at a feverish pace to put together a happy home for the two, with the tools and furniture that also emerged from the ice. Looking at the completed house, the two could only think that it was too large for the two of them, with a library, kitchen, bedroom, fountain, and gate. After everything, something still felt like it was missing. If only my father, brother, and mother were here, she said wistfully, because, after all, the house was too big for the two of them. With her bunny Teddy clutched close to her heart, she fell asleep that night in her new home. Jesus Christ. Another day in the comet sees our duo relaxing with some tea before a small apricot-coloured planet appears, holding an apricot-coloured Luma. Do you know each other? The girl asks, laughing. However, the two seemed quite uneasy at each other. Without moving, the two stared, not saying a word until one broke the silence. My mama. And then the apricot Luma parroted, my mama. And so they continued for a while, circling the girl until more and more appeared from the tiny planet. Baffled with what to do, she could only laugh and accept the fact that she'd adopt all of them. Once finishing the naming process, they all moved in with her, naming the little girl the Celestial Mother. One night, however, whilst looking at comets fly past, she thought, I wonder if my home planet is still as blue as it was. Then she thought again about her father's telescope, and with some adjustments she peeked through. How strange, she said. It's so far away, but it feels so close. Twisting the knob of the telescope, she saw even further onto a familiar grassy and flower-packed hill, and by zooming even closer, a terrace came into view. I used to go stargazing there when I lived in my home planet. She remembered following her father up that very hill to gaze at the stars at night. She remembered sledding down that very hill with her brother when it snowed. She remembered having picnics on that very hill with her mother on bright and windy days, and... I want to go home. I want to go home right now. She burst into tears, leaving the Lumas clueless as what to do. I want to go home. I want to go back to my house by the hill. I want to see my mother. She was now shouting, her face wet with tears. But I know she's not there. I knew all along that she wasn't out there in the sky because she's sleeping under the tree on the hill. With cries echoing through the stars, silence fell over the area. Though the girl was typically cheery, once again she had become sad. The Luma drew close and tried to comfort her. Don't be sad about your mama, because she's a part of you. That means she's always close by. It's like me, I love Starbits because they remind me of my mama. But with one last plan and a wide grin on its face, explosions left and right, beams of light twisting and convulsing through space. The ground shook and more light poured out the crater that followed. The light joined together to form a comet tail. Then Luma emerged, reborn as a comet. The girl couldn't believe her eyes. Unsurprisingly. How? She kept asking. Our destiny as Lumas is to transform into different things, a red Luma said. Stars, comets, planets, we can become all of these things. When I grow up, I want to become a star that makes someone special smile, said a green Luma, and that is a disgustingly adorable line, can I just say. And all together, the Lumas joined in to say, no more crying, Mama. Thank you, whispered the girl, pulling the Lumas in close to hug them, and from that day on, no more starbits fell from the girl's eyes. The comet set for the girl's home planet, with a proud long tail blazing behind it. At a welcoming party for a new Luma, the girl gathered everyone in the kitchen and said in a louder voice than usual, Alright everyone, let's make a cake. The Lumas excitedly gathered the ingredients. As they hurried around, the girl smiled and thought to herself, this is my family now, and I will stay with them until they are ready to leave the nest. And when they do leave, I'll see them off with a smile, because that's what makes a mother happiest. That night when she lay, a soft light reminded her of her old home. It would be nice to return home once every 100 years to nap in my favourite sleeping nook. The comet carrying the Lumas and the girl continues on its journey to this very day.